So, back in October, we reviewed the Pixel 3, and we called it the Android iPhone. And that's because Google no longer wants Android to be a nerd brand anymore. They want it to be something that can be really well used by everyone, and that is a premium experience. And with the Pixel 1 through 3, they nailed the premium experience. All three of those phones were exceptional devices that had an amazing ecosystem. But you know where they messed up? It's not the physical quality of a phone that gets people locked into ecosystems. It's the experience. And how are people actually going to try the Pixel experience unless they can get it in their hands? Well, this is the Pixel 3a, and it's Google's play for actually getting the Pixel experience in everybody's hands. But how exactly do you get the Pixel experience into more people's hands? Well, you cut out the things that only us nerds really care about, and that includes the latest Snapdragon processor, an official IP rating, wireless charging, and a glass body. But none of those things are what makes a Pixel a Pixel. What defines the Pixel is the amazing UI, the best-in-class camera, and things like an OLED display so you can have things like an always-on display, now playing, and easy access to Google Assistant. So the Pixel 3a doesn't have the best specs in the world. It has specs that are gonna work for most people. It's got a Snapdragon 670, 4GB of RAM, and 64GB of storage. And for most people, that's gonna be just fine. Now I do have to say that 4GB of RAM wasn't really enough for the Pixel 3, and it's not really going to be enough for the Pixel 3a either, but I couldn't exactly see Google adding more RAM to a cheaper phone. This phone will close apps in the background every now and then, but they did seem to solve the issue where music apps like Spotify would just stop playing if you opened up too many apps and it kicked it out of memory. Now the good thing is the Pixel UI is really lightweight. It's Google's vision for stock Android, and that means it's got a really good integration with all of Google's core apps. It's not gonna have any third-party apps unless you consider Google a third-party company, and it's really nice to get a phone where you really get to dictate everything that goes on your device. And just like the Pixel 3, the cameras are best in class. Seriously, I don't know how they were able to get the Pixel 3 cameras in this phone when it's $400, but they did. Now the image quality is only slightly worse than the Pixel 3, but I don't think the average person is actually going to be able to tell a difference. The camera is still miles better than pretty much every other Android phone on the market right now, and most people consider it to be better than the iPhone 2. The front-facing camera is where you're probably gonna see the most noticeable difference. Now you don't have two front-facing cameras in here anymore, so you don't have that ultra-wide angle lens, but you do have a lens that's pretty wide, and it's probably wide enough to get you and a couple friends in a shot. And like I said before, they still have an OLED screen, and it still looks amazing. Yes, it's not gonna be as perfect as the display on the Samsung Galaxy S10 or the OnePlus 7 Pro, but it's still really good for a $400 phone, and it also enables things like now playing or an always-on display to show your notifications. And of course, another thing that is core to the Pixel experience is the Google Assistant. And Google's maintained pretty much all the ways that you can access the Assistant here. You've still got the Hey G keyword to pull up the Assistant, but you've also still got ActiveEdge, which means you can squeeze the phone to pull up the Assistant, which can be really convenient if you don't want to set off that key phrase. Now you're not getting those front-facing speakers that everyone really loved in the Pixel 3, but another key part of the Pixel experience is good speakers, and you've still got stereo speakers on the bottom of this phone. And they actually sound really good. They sound a lot better than a lot of higher-end Android phones that cost a lot more than this thing. And here is the kicker. What is the one other thing that people are not willing to leave their iPhone 6s for? That's the headphone jack. And yeah, Google included it in the Pixel 3a. Now, one thing that I think that Google does need to put a little more effort into is battery life, because that actually does affect the average consumer. That actually is something that every single person wants in a phone. And battery life is average. It's not incredible, but the combination of the lower spec processor and also the bigger battery, especially in the Pixel 3a XL, does get you through a full day most of the time, and these also work with 18-watt quick charging. And probably the last main difference between the main Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3a is the build. Now the Pixel 3 is made of glass. The Pixel 3a is made of polycarbonate. And the thing is, I actually really like plastic phones. Way back when the Nexus 5 was released, everyone really praised that phone. It felt really good in your hand. And that's the case here too. I really like polycarbonate because you can drop it and it's much less prone to cracking. So what are you really getting out of the Pixel 3a as a whole package? Well, you're getting build quality that most people will be fine with. You're getting battery life that most people will be fine with. You're getting an experience that most people have not even tried yet but are really going to enjoy. And you're getting the best camera on the market right now. And look, this is why this phone is important. Google doesn't need to make premium phones, they need to get people to actually try their ecosystem. People aren't going to just switch ecosystems willy-nilly because when you're moving from an iPhone, you're not just moving OEMs, you're moving entire ecosystems. So how much is Google asking for the Pixel experience? They're pretty much asking $400. And at the time of making this video, there are deals almost everywhere that get you $100 off this phone, effectively making it $300. Not only that, but it's available on almost every carrier. No longer is the Pixel exclusively available at Verizon. You can get this almost anywhere except for AT&T, and that is a wonderful thing. Surrounding this out, I think Google finally realized that the Pixel is not about premium build quality. It's about hitting critical mass in their ecosystem. And what's gonna do that? Price and the Pixel experience. So that's been it, guys. I understand that this review was not too technical, but we do have a full written review that has a ton of specifications. We got a ton of sample photos and a ton of pictures of this phone. If you wanna go check it out, head over to androidauthority.com and make sure you stay tuned to our YouTube channel. We're gonna have a whole lot more information from the premium sector to the low-end sector to everything in between. And I will catch you in the next video.